Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here with some awesome news about The Walking Dead Season 10 because Entertainment Weekly just dropped our first look at Michonne and our first real look at The Walking Dead Season 10. Like, this is something that's going to be happening in Season 10, obviously. Here's the photo. Michonne is looking like a badass. It makes sense why they would, put out Michonne's photo. It is her last season, supposedly. We'll learn more about that throughout the week, especially when Comic-Con comes around. But yeah, this is an awesome photo. We're going to discuss this as well as some other stuff that they talked about, and then also some alpha stuff about filming. So we're going to break all that down in this video today, so let's get started. So once again, here is the photo that they dropped. A really cool photo. We're going to talk about what it could mean in just a second, but as we all know, The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer is dropping this Friday. We're going to be doing breakdowns of it, so be sure to stay tuned. And also, it's something interesting is that Entertainment Weekly said they're going to be releasing stuff about The Walking Dead all week long leading up to that trailer. So we're going to get some more information tomorrow, and then Thursday, and then Friday is that big trailer. So if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe to stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. So what do you guys think is going on in this photo? The thing that stands out at me is the fire. Well, first of all, let me say this is a badass photo, but the reason why the fire stands out at me is because, well, it definitely has some significance. That's why they released a photo with the fire in the background. But I've been thinking about it, and as we know, Season 10 is going to be the Whisper War. And at first glance, I was thinking that maybe the Whispers did this because, they're kind of striking first or whatever. But that would not be a good move because that would give away their camouflage because they blend in with the walkers. And now I'm thinking that, okay, this is maybe, I don't think it's a good idea to do this because it'll literally spread like wildfire there in the forest. But that being said, the fire does seem to be a little contained based on this image. But the fire would definitely help out them fighting the Whispers because the walkers would go towards the fire and the Whispers wouldn't because the Whispers are people and they wouldn't want to go towards the fire and burn. So that would definitely give them an advantage to know which are walkers and which are, Whispers. So this could definitely be them, planting these little fires. Again, I don't think it's a good idea to do it in the forest. We'll see if it literally spreads like wildfire or they're going to contain it some more. But it would sort of give them an advantage if they're in the middle of a battle. And since the fact this is happening in the middle of the woods, the Whisperers live in the woods, so this would definitely be a threat to them. They don't live in a community, they really act like animals, so this could be like maybe them firing back or something. We don't know exactly how the Whisper War is gonna start, but based on some stuff that Angela Kang said about how characters are dealing with the effect of the pikes, I feel like they don't want to really rush into war right now. And then also, I just feel like if the Whisperers somehow find out that they cross, and they kind of foreshadowed that in the season finale of season 9. Ezekiel was worried about crossing the border because they would trigger a war. So I don't think that line of dialogue was there for no reason. I think it was foreshadowing something. And they could maybe one or two Whisperers were lingering behind, and they saw the people cross their border. They reported back to Alpha and Beta, and then they attack first. And then this could be like maybe a couple episodes into the season when they attack back and basically destroy their home and find a good way to kill the Whisperers. But regardless, I'm very excited for the Whisper War because it looks like they're going to be doing, more weapons such as swords and crossbows and less guns. All Out War had a lot of guns. I'm not saying it ruined All Out War or anything like that, but it's going to be, I want to see a different type of war. I want to see a hand-to-hand combat war and stuff like that. I think it's going to be beneficial for The Walking Dead. But anyways, that being said, let's get into some stuff that Angela Kang said about this photo and what's going on here. So in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Angela Kang said this: "One of the things that we have going on this season is we're continuing some explorations of natural elements and how they play into our world," says Kang. And fire is one of those elements that come into play in a few key ways that twist the story in a way that'll be pretty exciting. So she says natural element. Yeah, fire is a natural element, but maybe it is like an accident because we saw what happened on Fear the Walking Dead. That plane crashed and then fire broke out everywhere. It could be something similar. Not a plane. I don't think a plane's gonna crash, but it could be something like a fire happened on accident and it somehow ended up being in their favor because the Whisperers ran away and they knew which were the Whispers and which were, the walkers, which I think is also going to be a big thing in this season. In my video from yesterday, I talked about how Angela Kang said there's going to be a lot of paranoia in season 10 because you can't really tell the difference between a walker and a whisperer. It's really tough. Like, I remember one of the first few episodes where the Whisperers came in, Daryl shot the Whisperer in the leg. That was a real good move because you can tell the difference. So fire is going to be, like Angela Kang said here, it's going to be, it's going to help them in a key way. And I think that's what she means. It's going to, help differentiate between the walkers and the Whisperers. And then moving on, it says, as Kang notes, fire is dangerous enough in our world, but in a landscape with such limited resources, it's another matter altogether. Fire is terrifying now, says Kang, but we sort of take for granted that we have people that can deal with it. It obviously has very different implications for our people in an apocalyptic world. So yeah, she's definitely right here because, like I was mentioning before, that's going to be very bad for, the trees in the forest because, it's going to be really hard to contain that. Maybe they have it planned and do a good job with it. Maybe they have some people ready to stop the fire or whatever. Maybe they're just using it as a distraction for the Whisper. But yeah, she's definitely right there saying that, if the fire gets out of hand, pretty much the entire forest is going to burn down. So we'll see if, they have it contained and they, make sure it doesn't get to that level. And then one last thing that Angela Kang said, I don't want to give too much away about this particular story because hopefully there's some unexpected aspects to it, but we will definitely see our people trying to contend with things that they can't handle in the same ways that we do in our world today. Alright, so you see, this one little photo they released has so much to it. And I don't know exactly what's going to be going on in this sequence, but, after reading all of that, it's really interesting because, again, with the realism, Angela Kang brings such a good and, realistic aspect to the show that's why I think it's been improving. And like she says here, that we're going to see our people trying to contend with things in the same way that we do in our world today. And I do think this fire is going to escalate, that's something we see a lot on the news and stuff like that, fires and the forest and stuff like that. So that is what she could be referring to. And if she's saying that it's going to be like a lot of unexpected aspects to it, what do you guys think that means? Is the fire going to really, maybe they're going to try to use the fire strategy to kill the Whisperers and it's going to backfire and maybe burn Alexandria or maybe burn a hilltop or something like that. And then they all have to go in one community and work together. That'd be interesting. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, we're going to move on and talk about some alpha news because recently, once again, before I start talking about this, I want to give a shout out to the Spoiling Dead fans because they're responsible for this information. But we've been learning over the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months that they are going to be messing around with more flashbacks and backstory for the Whisperers, which is wonderful because they've already done so much with Alpha's character in that first episode, and Alpha is already one of the best villains we've had. I love that backstory they gave her. Hopefully we get the same thing about Beta in season 10. I know they've been teasing that. But today we just got some information from them that it looks like they may have been filming some sort of flashback scene involving Alpha. So here is the scene description. I'm going to be reading what it says in the second dash. So right here it says, in another scene with a walker in a hoodie wearing a backpack appears by the SUV. It's Alpha. She grabs the second little girl, pulling her in front of the car, killing a walker in the process. Beta wasn't spotted and there appeared to be no Whisperers. This seems like a flashback scene, especially since Alpha wasn't seen wearing her mask and this was in the city. And then here's a photo of Alpha. As you can see, no mask. She is wearing black like she usually does. We don't know exactly how accurate this is. They're not even sure themselves. They said that we're not 100%. Like right here it says, we have heard a crew told people this was episode 1002, but we're not clear if it's just scenes for that episode, the entire episode, or they gave out false information. Even extras haven't been told what episode they're filming for this season. So it does look like it's going to be a flashback episode, because if they're filming with just Alpha and they don't know anybody else there, like they aren't familiar with anybody else, like why would Alpha be completely on her own, The Whisperers travel together. So I do think it's going to be a flashback scene, and I wanted to share this information just to let you guys know that it does look like we are going to be getting another flashback episode, or at least some flashback scenes. But that's that. Thank you for some people for sending that to me and letting me know about that information. It is definitely interesting because I love Alpha and Beta. I love the Whisperers. I want to learn more about them, and I think they've been doing a really good job with the Whisper. So let me know in the comments down below all your thoughts and opinions about this. I am gonna wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Again, we're gonna be getting information all week long, so be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.